Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the Ape Army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep on more. You forgot we on the float, blind 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the Ape Army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Yeah, crayon eating Lambo loving smooth brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. FUD don't mean a thing, water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through, through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. In hell we maybe woulda, but we more zen than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the Ape Nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle. Cause we're just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the Ape Army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Moon Gang. Welcome back to the best finance live stream podcast out there. Who knows what it's called? All I know is that we are called Dumb Money. And yes, thank you so much for everyone noticing. I do have color back in my face. I do. It was a rough morning. Someone pointed out on Twitter that they feel like hedge funds ripped the stock up just to force me to eat a hot chip just to bring it back down. You know what? It's a good theory. We can't disprove it. That's all I can say. There's no counterexample. No one has proof that a hedge fund didn't do it to us. My organs are still rough. My organs are in rough shape right now. We are currently clipping up the whole hot chip saga that'll be posted on Kohrs later today. It was interesting. The last 20 minutes of the stream, my stomach was going downhill. The stream stopped. I was in an hour. I don't really feel invincible yet. I know allegedly I am invincible now because I waited that full hour. I ate half a sleeve of Ritz crackers, barely walked to the corner store, and I was like, I need Tums. And he's like, what? And instinctually, I just pointed at my stomach, which why would pointing at your stomach mean that you want Tums? Like, did he think I was like an adolescent? I was like, oh, my tummy hurts. So I pointed at my stomach, but for some reason that worked. And he gave me like a little. I was like, dude, I'm going to need more. Like, just keep them coming. Manja. Like, give me all the Tums you freaking have. And then on the way back, I don't know if this was right or not, but I know a lot of people talked about ice cream. So I stopped and I bought myself ice cream as well. So far, my diet today has been 3 cups of coffee, an outrageously spicy chip, a sleeve of Tums, and like a third of a pint of ice cream. This is exactly why you guys tune in. Not only is it the best finance live stream out there, but it's also a very good health stream. If you have any physical fitness questions, if you have any dietary questions, I am the person to come to. I clearly have it all figured out. And you know who else has it all figured out? The Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve to start withdrawing its emergency support to the economy. Ooh, grimace, grr, someone's angry. So I thought this was more appropriate. Let's leave this up. Is there a way I could slow this down? Oh, whoa, I didn't know it does this. Okay, so he's going pretty burr. Like you could see, for quite a while during most of the pandemic, this is what he was doing. This is what the Federal Reserve was doing, and it's been kind of loosening up. And I still think we're closer to here, but for the point of the viewers, anyone who's watching, I'm going to keep it a bit more calm just to explain what's going on. So over the past 2 days, yesterday and today, the entire posse of the Federal Reserve, they met up. They're like, what should we do? This economy is a crazy thing. And they're like, all right, well, I think it's time to go from a little bit dovish to a little bit hawkish. So when they're considering these things, you got to talk about two separate things. They've been purchasing a lot. They've been backstopping the economy with about $120 billion worth of asset purchases per month. It is truly one of the most impressive unlimited quantitative easing policies ever, on top of the fact that our interest rates are nothing. So interest rates are one pillar, and then the asset purchasing is another one. These asset purchases, it's a combination, mainly treasuries, notes, but it's also some mortgage-backed securities, but mainly the treasury stuff. So anyway, they're buying a lot, as in putting money into the economy, and they're also keeping interest rates low. This is referred to, especially when you're doing this with the overall attempt of keeping unemployment as low as possible. That's called being very, very dovish. The issue when you do this is you put your overall economy in the highest level. And yes, we could talk for hours and hours and hours about this. There are PhD economists out there who know far more than I do. My job is to give you the general takeaway so you can talk with someone at a bar about it. But anyway, what's going on is when you're this dovish, interest rates low, putting money into the economy, you're trying to keep unemployment low. Part of their goal, and I actually wrote this down, is price stability and the best employment we can possibly have. But when you're doing this, especially for too long, it promotes more of an inflationary environment. And that's kind of what's interesting about the scenario is for quite a while, they're like, it's transitory. And one of the craziest things that was just pointed out, and this all credit goes to Zero Hedge right here, interesting change. Instead of saying transitory factors, because they're like, inflation's transitory, as in it's temporary, it's going to go away. They're now saying factors that are expected to be transitory. Interesting change in words there. And then if you really listen to him, I was just live tweeting because he's actually talking right now. Money printer go BRRRR. That's obviously in relation to what's going on here, but they're literally changing transitory. He said this came out of the federal chairman's mouth. It means different things to different people. And we're now realizing that he's defining it as long as it's not forever. Very, very interesting. And I thought this was more of an interesting from Zero Hedge here, the way he followed up on this, kind of just poking fun out of him. People have different understandings of transitory. Transitory means not having permanently higher prices. For example, Weimar hyperinflation was transitory. It only lasted 9 years. Obviously, like kind of poking fun at it. But right there, that's the balancing act. They're worrying about price stability, employment to the maximum level possible. And then when you do it for longer and longer and longer, you're creating more of an inflationary environment. And right now, they are running into current issues on the employment side of things. So they kept referring to letting the labor market heal because of COVID, and now they kept referring to the Delta variant. And right now, people are having companies, bosses, they're having issues employing people. Right now, there are job openings that are just not getting filled, especially this time of the year with all the seasonal work. It's hard to track people down and get them to actually work. So from the macroeconomic level, there's some very serious things going on here. And with what's going on, their decision right now, to give you the highlight of it, I probably should have started with this, is interest rates are not being changed. Interest rates, that pillar, the odds right now, there's an odds market on it that we might have 1 to 2 rate hikes next year with about a 50% chance in June, a little bit higher in July, around 60%. It keeps going up and up and up. And the odds are saying that we're like almost definitely going to have a rate hike by December, but the odds 50-50 in June, and it increases as we get to like the latter half of next year. But rate hikes this year, no, not going to happen. So on the asset purchasing side, they're purchasing $120 billion per month. Starting this month, November 2021, they're going to start cutting it down by 15 million. So 10 million of that is going to be treasury, and then 5 million of that will be mortgage-backed securities, and then they're going to cut it by another 15 million in December. Now, I pointed this out on Twitter, but one thing I thought was noteworthy, at least, is they have another FOMC meeting in December. I don't know why they decided for December now in November when they have another meeting coming up. So I guess you could look at that as like, okay, are they being a little bit hawkish? But they are, in the press conference, they're like, they smacked any question down about interest rates. They're like, we're not doing it. So then people are like, well, you're actually being a little bit more dovish. And I don't know. I think that's kind of personal bias of like the words you're personally listening for. I think it's funny that in real time, he's redefining transitory, but all the other stuff, I don't know, a little bit hawkish, a little bit dovish. In general, we're way more dovish than we are hawkish. But that was kind of the expectation. It's the market is always going to move on what the expectations were. And obviously, it came in a little bit more dovish than people thought it would, because look at this. It comes out at 2 p.m. It rips. He starts talking at 2:30, rips even more. So obviously the market is happy. They're like, all right, whatever. This guy is clearly going to play the political game he needs to get reelected. So he's going to keep the market going higher and higher and higher and create this inflationary bomb for the next person. Remember, he's another human. People at the Federal Reserve, they're all humans. They want jobs. They want to line their own pockets. They like the power. So right here, he's doing what he needs to keep things going sky high. And like I said, this inflationary bomb, it's a unique bomb where, in the sense of, if you roll it down the road, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Picture a big barrel of gasoline and it's going to a fire, except every time you push it down, you're putting more gasoline into the barrel. It's like a weird setup, but that's what's going on right now. And I feel like Powell is just saying, he's like, well, you know what? As long as I'm not the one at the barrel when it finally hits the fire, that's a-okay. So what you need to know right now, they are tapering. They're cutting off 15 billion this month, cutting off another 15 billion next month, starting at 120. So we're going from 120, and then by the end of this year, we're cutting out a total of 30. So we'll be at 90 a month. And then the expectation is to continue this rate until about mid 2022 when we're at 0. And then at that point, depending on more what they refer to as like a stringent, I guess, prerequisite list, that's when they're going to be looking at actually raising the interest rates. Once again, the June odds are about 50-50. Most people are calling for like maybe the first one actually being September, but definitely the first one by or maybe on December. But like the odds are like 90% for it occurring between now and December of 2022. So with all of that thing, I mean, you can see it in the markets right here. Look at 2 p.m. explosion, 2 p.m. explosion, 2 p.m. Like even GameStop got its breakout. Even AMC got its breakout. Right here, equities at large really reacted positively to this news. So in the meantime, if you're worried about inflation, it almost just seems like, well, hey, if you're worried about it, just get money in the market to fight inflation, or you could look at other things. Crypto ended up being a bit whippy. Look at Bitcoin, sold off, bounced right back. Ethereum sold off and then hit a new all-time high. Solana sold off, hit a new all-time high. Unfortunately, SHIB didn't really get much of a movement, but the entire thing, it's a crazy, highly complex, convoluted system. And I hope I'm explaining it where you can start to understand it a little bit more. I'm by no means an expert. I'm just trying to get across like the overall generic picture so you have a better understanding of what's going on the macro scale and how that trickles down into individual equities such as AMC and GME. But right now, we have seasonal bullishness. We have a very accommodative Fed board. And then right here also, like, politically, I think things will just keep getting pushed up because of course they want it to go up because they keep having like the desire to trade and line their pockets and make more and more money. So when you have seasonally, the Fed, and politically, all three things lining bullish, I think we go higher. And even with that being said, I'm the first to admit that everything's overpriced. Everything right now is overpriced. Talk about things being fundamentally overpriced. Right now, we just hit a new all-time high. Is anyone actually saying we've had the best economy ever? No way. Do you know how many different companies right now are complaining about supply chain issues and not being able to get enough workers? The fact that the market is pricing in the best economy, but we all know the economy isn't the best economy we've ever had. That is absolutely ludicrous. And that's what I think's particularly interesting about some of your favorite mainstream media correspondents bitching and moaning about AMC and GME being fundamentally overvalued. Folks, everything's fundamentally overvalued. That's what you get with inflation and the Federal Reserve right now. Everything's overvalued. I don't know anything out there that is at a good, fair, fundamental value based on previous models that have been used for decades and decades and decades. We're living in la la land. Just bask in the chaos, and I hope you make some money while doing it. Speaking of some of our favorite mainstream media, I thought this was interesting. This came out today. Cramer warns shorts about Reddit crowd. If they smell blood in the water, they show no mercy. Dun, dun, dun. Cramer. I think this is worthwhile to listen to.
When it comes to Avis, it's what you get when you get short interest meeting thin markets.
Yeah, look, I think that people don't understand. This is a new world. There's, like Melissa Lee's Pete, excellent documentary. There's a whole new group of people out there. If they see or they smell blood in the water, short sellers, they show no mercy. And you're going to see that with Bed Bath, where people are quite wrong. And you'll take a look at Avis, and yes, it added $10 billion in market cap. But these people, remember, they're insensitive to market cap. And if they cared about market cap, they wouldn't take GameStop to. And I mean, there's obviously, David, a group of people who have discovered that there are hedge funds, representing rich people, by the way, that can be annihilated very quickly.
There are also hedge funds that are in on it.
Oh, you mean like they're fellow travelers?
Also part of, yes,
fellow travelers.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, well, it's a left-wing way, communist way, actually.
That do participate as well. Listen, Avis, we started to watch it yesterday around 10 o'clock. We know that those who owned Hertz were short Avis, just as a hedge.
Right, that was a hedge. That was brilliant.
And then also Avis itself had already been up some 700-800%, had an enormous performance going into the earnings print.
Right.
So there were those who were simply shorted as a result of saying, well, how much better can it get? Then you got better, and then you had that enormous short squeeze, which took the stock up to as high as 545 yesterday.
At one point, it was GameStop at the end of February.
It was up over 225% at one point.
Well, look, I mean, Carl, what happens is you get. I don't think people realize that a lot of money is run. That's already a technical term, but a lot of money managers are given money and they're saying, listen, we need you to have some shorts. So the most logical short was, well, if you thought Hertz was good, well, you would bet against Avis. Now, these funds that have these provisions that say they must have shorts, these are the ones where people go to work every day and say, I wish I was an assembly worker, dear, because I'm going to make more money this year.
The hedge funds have underperformed the broader market yet again, as I've made the point many times.
Yes, they have.
Private investments, and that has become something quite popular. That is probably where they're outperforming, if anywhere, because of the crazy valuations. And that's not the word I'm using. I'm hearing it from many others that are taking place in the private market. They're benefiting from that in terms of the marks. But you're right. Now, of course, what they will tell you when they underperform year after year after year after year is that they risk adjust. So that's what they're doing, Jim. They're risk adjusting.
Well, but look, we don't want to buy into their act.
Well,
their act is a bogus act.
It's still a huge business. The hedge fund industry is still an enormous business.
You can fool a lot of people out of
all right, you guys get the main point of it here, but something about it. I just enjoy it. I truly, truly do. Whenever I see Cramer start talking, it's fun. If you don't laugh, you're going to cry. Seriously, you gotta enjoy the little things in life. You gotta be able to laugh it out, because if you don't, you're gonna be like me, and you're gonna be going gray in your 20s. You're gonna be crying in your shower, and now that you have 2/3 of a pint of ice cream, you're gonna be down in that in one day. That's not a good way to go. Learn from me. Learn from my mistakes, find some joy in it, find the comedy, be like, this is a great form of entertainment. Because other than that, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your mind. I also hope you have on a freaking neck brace, because of the whiplash of this guy. It's all time. I love it. I really, really do. I get true entertainment out of him speaking. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I know a lot of people, I even see it here. It's like, why do we even see it at all? Because it makes me laugh. That's why. I am now invincible, and the only thing I care about in life is how many ha-has I can possibly get in. And when I hear him speak, it's a ha-ha, because the whiplash is insane. One day, he hates us. He hates the entire group. He doesn't see what's going on. And then the next day, he's warning all of Wall Street about us. He's like, don't mess with them. They smell blood. They're like sharks. These are freaking apes who are famished, and they just see that there's bananas up in the tree, and they're going to go get those bananas. It is so, so incredibly funny. In my mind, he makes me laugh. Now, obviously, Charlie Gasparino, he actually pisses me off because I think he's detrimental to society. I don't know if Kramer is. I think Kramer's just a guy who, he's a rich dude. He's on TV. He doesn't know how to now handle social media. It's a bit weird. But I'm honestly like, whatever. He's Kramer. But Gasparino, I think he's actually like a malicious player. I truly think he's a malicious player. And maybe you agree with me. Maybe you don't. In my mind, they're two different people. Kramer makes me laugh. He really, really does. Liz Clayman makes me laugh. Gasparino, I hate him. He prompts an irate urge deep in my soul that I usually take multiple minutes to calm down from. What else do we have? Okay, AMC right now trading just south of 40, GME trading just around 215. Let me give you the up-to-date numbers right now, just so everyone's a little bit more calm in case you're looking for the Ortex numbers. So on AMC today, there's been a net return of 3.1 million shares on a borrow of 500,000. That puts the estimated short interest at 16.7%. In terms of GameStop, there's been a net return today of 99,000 on a borrow of 311,000, and that puts the estimated short interest at 10.77%. Once again, these are estimated. Yeah, there is an argument that the estimation might be 2 days behind, but just so you know, the shares on loan, the utilization, the return shares, the borrowed shares, those are all up to date. And another thing I need to clarify is people look at exchange reported short interest. I don't know where they're getting it, but they're like, this is self-reported. This is self-reported. I guess in a certain sense it's self-reported, but understand that self means FINRA members. Hedge funds are not FINRA members. If you think hedge funds are reporting their own data that comes into here, that's just not how the system works. So I think that's an important point of clarification for us to know, like, who's self-reporting. It's FINRA members. The best way I could explain a FINRA member is any of these entities that can, hedge funds call up prime brokers, and prime brokers are like, okay, and then they execute the trade. Hedge funds themselves aren't the ones like directly executing the trade. So I think that's the easiest way for us to all conceptualize who is a FINRA member. And then remember, FINRA members are the ones reporting the positions to the various governing bodies, to FINRA, and then FINRA gives us those numbers, just so everyone's on the same page with that. Does that count as a gap fill on AMC? Yes, I believe it does, actually. I thought it did. Did it technically? Are we slightly off? The high yesterday was 38.80 and the low today was 38.88. So no, technically not a gap fill. We were off by 8 cents. That's going to bother me. That's going to deeply bother me. I wish it just came down. So not a technical gap fill. So for those of you who are like, what is he yammering on about? There's a little bit of a gap in between today's low and yesterday's high, a little bit of a hole in the chart to the tune of 8 cents. I wonder, but GME, did GME cover its gap? Yes, it did. So you see how like the low today is within the high of yesterday. So the gap on GameStop is covered, but not on AMC. Finally have 100 shares of AMC. Devin, congratulations. I myself bought some more AMC today as well. Do you know Jim Cramer and Sarchar were both in the latest IT movies? That's a lot of clowns right there. Reminder, drop a like, chat. Shout out Nightforge. The latest It movie. The Stephen King. I like it. Kramer's a tool. Obviously, we go for money-making opportunities. That's how you build wealth. I love how he tries to make us look like the villains. I don't know. A part of me just thinks he's like playing a part. Like I think Gasparino is much more malicious. Why is the gap fill important? The odds of the gaps being filled are just extraordinarily high. The market likes to test untested areas because when you have a gap, that means that the supply and the demand within that region has not been evaluated. There is a statistical edge, a quantitative edge in playing gap fills. Matt, I agree. You are invincible. I will always look to you as a superhero. I apologize for telling you to stop ranting. Go Superboy. What's going on, Frank? Tesla, check it out. How's Tesla doing? No, Tesla. Why did I get out of my calls for a loss? Why'd you tell me to look at this? You know I'm just going to get angry. Thoughts on AMC's price action today? Really, really love the enthusiasm. Really like the volume. We're at 75.5 mil on an average 10-day volume of 37 mil. So I like that all the way, obviously, up until 10, and then we just couldn't hold. So we know from Bloomberg's report using Fidelity's data that the action all the way up until yesterday, we don't know about the action for today, was actually Wall Street driven. The buying was not coming from retail. The buying was coming from Wall Street institutions. And a couple ways to look at that. Do they know something we don't know? Was it a quick pump and now this was them selling off to take their gains? There's a couple ways to interpret it. And in the end, I don't know if we'll ever really get the answer because we're not the ones who work at the institutions. Maybe if Fidelity reports that data again, we'll be able to see get a better idea at least of who's doing the buying, who's doing the selling. But we know between Monday and Tuesday, what was driving it, where the money was coming from, it was Wall Street. It was not retail. That was clearly laid out in the Bloomberg article, data supported from Fidelity saying, nope, not really retail driven. So when you have Wall Street in there, it's interesting. I mean, I'm going to trust Wall Street as far as I can throw it, which is nothing. But at a certain point, I also understand that it's a game of competition for them. And if Wall Street, so it's funny, Kramer's talking about how if we smell blood in the water, we're going to take someone out. Yeah, I think that's true. But I also think that's it's just a different type of shark because that's already how Wall Street is. Like we're a new type of shark, but there's already been sharks in this particular sea that we're in. If a hedge fund, if a Wall Street institution senses weakness in another one, of course they're going to take them out. So it's one of those, it comes back to that old adage of like the enemy of your enemy is a friend. So I think in this weird scenario, at least what we saw this week was some Wall Street who was short these, what they refer to as meme stocks, another player, another big player, or maybe a group of players out there made an effort and they bought up and they prompted a lot of the craziness. So for me, they're still green. And that's always a good day. GME's up 3%. AMC's up 2.3%. Am I bummed right there with you that we're not pushing? Of course. But it's a green day. Like we can't complain about a green day. Like I saw people saying it's tanking, it's taking. Talk about being dramatic. We're in the positive, folks. It's a green day. The stock made a gain. Not only have the shorts, they're relatively down on their position because the stock is green, but on top of it, they're still paying a cost to borrow fee. So don't lose sight of the bigger picture of what's going on. And like, I think sometimes people get a little bit too honed in on just like pure intraday action. And I'm right there with you. Intraday, obviously, I wish this was higher and higher. I wish it at least held the highs from the morning, and it didn't. But hey, this is a good day. I don't know how to stress that enough. AMC is in the green. GME is in the green. They're in the green enough that once again, we're back on mainstream media. Kramer's talking about us. CNBC's talking about us. Fox is talking about us. Yahoo's talking about us. Bloomberg's talking about us. The more we are out there, the better. I wholeheartedly, we still have 30 minutes to go on the day. I obviously don't know how the day is going to end, but I would chalk this up as a win for Ape Nation. I truly, truly would. And it's just because of that. We're back in the news. Both stocks are in the green. How is this a bad day to be us? Maybe some people got burned on options. Okay, well, that sucks. But for people who are in stock, at a minimum, even if you bought at the close yesterday, you're now up 2%, you're now up 3%. So people who are just in their stock position, like, you have a smile on your face. Could you have a bigger smile on your face? Yeah, I'm not trying to emotionally downplay the fact that, yeah, obviously we all want it higher and higher and higher, but at least we're taking a baby step in the right direction. I think is the most healthy way to think about it. Where does a person get to see the threshold list? You just Google New York NYSE threshold list or NASDAQ threshold list. It's going to be on the threshold list of where the stock was initially listed. So, for example, AMC and GameStop are both originally listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Yo, Matt, sweater for the chip sweats. Could you kindly check Ortex on for Prague? I'm hearing different amounts of shorts. Thank you. Yeah, no, I had like weird temperature swings today after eating that. And this is where my body found a little bit of homeostasis. Weird day. Weird day. It was spicy, like for sure. It was hot. But I think the stomach pains were actually the worst part, my like upper stomach. And that's why I like consumed an entire sleeve of Tums. And like I said, a third of a pint of, what was it? Chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. The estimated short interest on Prague is 37.6%, according to Ortex. There was a net return of 600,000 today. Utilization 99.9%. Shares on loan estimated to be 24.27 million. Just so we're all on the same page of Prague. You handled the chip like a champ. Hey, I appreciate that. And it was a tough hour. It was a tough like 2 hours. Like the hour after, it was not the best hour of my life. We'll just put it that way. But I don't know. Once I got some food in my system and Tums and some water and everything, I was A-okay. All right. Is there any institutional buying trackers on BTC you are seeing, if any? I'm trying to compare 2017 FOMO with now. I don't know about institutions. Like you could just see buyings. There are various accounts, like various like crypto whale accounts, stock whale accounts, track the crypto one. You're going to be so thick. All right. Where else are we at? Missed the first portion. How did you fare during the break? I think we need to give Jim a super chip. Irish, that's a good question. It was not the best break of my life, but my body's recovering as we speak. Kramer is what Wall Street bets degens would have been if they were born 20 years earlier. Wind up the cocaine monkey and watch him go. Oh, man. All right, I think we are good. All right, AMC currently 39.80. Psychologically, I would love the capture of 40. Remember, yesterday we hit the high of 38.80. This is still a gain. I feel like people within the community, they lose that so quickly. Like they see where we could have been. They're like, well, I just think higher and higher and higher. That's such a unhealthy mindset to have when it comes to the market. Just, are you generically stumbling in the right direction? Basically, at the end of the day, is the stock in the green? Yes. Perfect. A-okay. We live to fight another day. Oh, I do appreciate that, Antonio. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. If you haven't already, please absolutely destroy that like button. It just helps me out with the algorithm. And if you haven't already, don't forget to join up the Moon Gang by hitting the subscribe button. Liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff helps me with the engagement. It is completely free, and it just gets this video in front of other people. It gets the channel in front of other people to spread the good gospel of the ape. All right, I think I'm finally up to date on all of that. I think I caught up. All right. Am I missing any hot gossip fallout from the rest of the FOMC, like the presser? Let's see what else is going on. Jim Cramer talking about the collapse of oil. What's going on with oil right now? Is it finally taking a breather? Oil is going down. The trend might be officially reversing. Look at that support breakdown at 80 and some change. It's at the key psychological level of 80 right there. A little bit ago on the 27th, right in here between these 2 days, we saw the MACD crossover. You would have been underwater a little bit, but right now you'd be smiling. At this point, I have no oil position right now, but it does look like it wants to come down to 76, and then we could reevaluate it there for any of my oil people. S&P 500 crushing it, new all-time high. Q's crushing it, new all-time high. Russell crushing it, new all-time high. AMC looking good, GME looking good. Tesla on the road to a new all-time high. What, a couple bucks off, $10 off. Money making opportunities. Bitcoin, gnarly bounce. Ethereum, new all-time high. Solana, new all-time high. SHIB coming up to support. Look for that bounce, hopefully. I believe that Cardano recaptured $2. It definitely did. I would like to see that going. Cardano, Solana in competition. They are the nuisance of little brothers to Ethereum, but who knows? You never know how big these particular kiddos are going to grow. So I'm in all three for smart contract plays, without a doubt. I'm happy to be in all three. It just so happens that in the meantime, I'm currently making the most money off of Solana just because it's run so much. Look at this Solana rip. I got in around 137, 138 back here in September, and it's been an awesome trade thus far. And I'm just gonna ride that momentum out. You have the rocket take off tonight in the toilet. I hope my stomach isn't going to get that messed up, but only time will tell. I won't be surprised if it plays out that particular way. Can I check skills? Yeah, keep the questions flowing, folks. Skills, SKLZ. I love this turnaround. So obviously downtrend. We made a new lower low in about mid-October, but it looks like it started fighting back when it got above 950, and then it continued above 1150. It's at resistance right now. It got rejected here multiple times. Maybe it follows through to 14. That would be my next watch. I'd watch for 11 to 1150 as support, and I would watch for the next resistance at 14 on SKLZ. People are talking about coin. Coin's an interesting one. It's finally bouncing back, but remember, it has its earnings announcement before the market opens on Friday. So not tomorrow, but the next day. That's obviously going to be a fundamental driver just if you're in coin. But my just high-level generic guess is as long as BTC and Ethereum are BTC and ETH are still doing well, I would expect coin to also do pretty well because a lot of their revenue comes from the crypto transactions. So as long as crypto's high, the transactions are higher, and as long as it's in the news, a lot more people are trading it. So their revenue should be pretty solid. Pretty solid. Pop one and chip and scalp Tesla to intensify your edge. Oh, man. Some people asking about Ford. Built Ford tough. Ripping. Finally got out of this decade-long trend down. Got into the world of EV. Switched the business over. Ripped. Took a breather. Ripping again. Just had a breakout. Coming up to resistance at $19. If it breaks out of $19, that's a new all-time high for Ford ever since 2010, which is crazy. Ford was actually one of my first videos that did all right. Hang on, where was that? I've been watching Ford for a hot minute, ever since I'm talking early YouTube days. How do I find this? Your channel, video, sort by oldest. I remember my first video to ever get 1,000 views was Boeing, and then I was like, you know what? I am YouTube. Let's follow it up. And my next one was Ford. So right here, a year ago, this was my first 1,000 video ever. Boeing to take flight? ? And And then stock analysis, buy the dip on Ford. And I want everyone to know that I said yes. Right here, you could see where Ford was at that time. Oh man, look at that editing. Look at that editing. Look at that hair. Look at that scenery. But yeah, if you had bought Ford at that point, you would be up. I was talking about Ford at about $6, and that was about a year ago, and now it's trading just south of 19. Interesting stuff. What was Boeing at that time? Wait, where did that go? Boeing.
What's going on, everyone?
Boeing was at 180. What is Boeing at right now? BA. 213. So you'd be up, but you probably should have taken your profits way earlier. I guess you were up $100 at one point, so not the best one. Or like, it was good. I think the Ford percentage return was better, but interesting times. Regarding ADA versus ETH 2.0, don't both allow smart contracts in their blockchains, but what are the benefits of using one chain versus the other for a project? Well, so does Solana. So the major difference, talking about what you're pointing out here, Ethereum, right now, we're not on Ethereum 2.0. That's where it's heading to. But on Ethereum original, that is proof of work. And ETH will be proof of stake, but that's what Cardano's already at. So both have smart contracts. Ethereum has first movers advantage. People already know how to develop on it. There's already a lot of dApps. There's a lot of various things already going on Ethereum. Like I said, first mover advantage is a big thing, but Cardano does have a better consensus model. It's proof of stake rather than proof of work, and it also has more transactions. But that's really where Solana sticks out, is right now, Ethereum, let's just call it 1530 transactions for the exact same amount of time that Solana could do 50,000. So there's a couple things to weigh out there. Ethereum is arguably the most expensive and the most clunky, but that shows you the strength of first mover advantage. Rather the chip or the P challenge, plan to do it again. I hate both, and I'm not doing either ever again. I see people being negative about Prague. I don't know why. I think Prague's another good long-term hold. Hey, Matt, check out Goku Inu. The name is not patented, and they have been things lined up. That's a rare gem. Don't miss this. Isn't it not good that it's not patented? Isn't that like a negative, or am I missing something? XRP is trading on Uphold and Bitstamp. Thoughts on the crypto investment? Chip challenge was great this morning. I see, it seems like the Ripple community is a very passionate community. And the one thing I'm learning over the past 11 months is you cannot discount the value of a passionate community. Beyond that, I do think it's an interesting project. I know they're currently kind of embattled in a lawsuit. So depending on how that goes, that could be good or bad for it. Basically, the whole Howey testing, is it a security? Is it not a security? So I'm not a legal mind, so I don't really know the way it's going to go. But I just like the fan base in it. I don't own any myself just because I don't have an account on Uphold. If I had the ability to buy some Ripple, I probably would. Opinion on Decentraland Mana Coin. So with Facebook's movement into the world of the metaverse, I'm bullish on it. How could you not be when Facebook is renaming its entire company Meta, and their entire concept is like this virtual reality that runs on crypto? And that's exactly what Mana is doing for Decentraland, or Decentraland's doing, and Mana happens to be the coin. I think it's a coin. How does it lose? What else do we have? SPY about to hit a new all-time high. How far are the Qs behind? Qs literally at a new all-time high right now as we speak. That is crazy. Crazy. Wait, what did I just miss? Prog, or text maybe. Yeah, it's around 30%. We just checked out. It still has a high short interest. But to me, Prog, I'm not saying it's not going to be a short squeeze play. I'm saying I'm not in it for the short squeeze play. I'm in it because I think it's a right now fundamentally undervalued company. So I think it could trade upwards in its market cap towards being a fair fundamental evaluation. That's why I like Prog. If it squeezes, cool, I'll make extra money. But I just think it's fundamentally undervalued. That's what I think about a lot of just my long-term stocks. I don't know if I could say that about Tesla right now when it's a little bit away from its all-time high, but when I first got it, Tesla was at 400, so I was able to make a pretty return on that one. I think most of crypto is undervalued if you have like a multi-decade time frame, so I'm excited about that one. Jelly bean boozled. Next challenge. It's just jelly beans. I won't steer you wrong. All right, Kinky Kong. That might have to be the next one. I appreciate that. What do you think about CRTD? Low float financials turning around, 5% short interest, insider buying, good support levels, 50% risk with 100% reward. What is it? CRTD. Excuse me. CRTD. Well, first of all, I would see this gap and I'd be like, I'd prefer to save myself 60 cents and buy it at 310 because it seems like it's going to gap fill. I would just want to look into the company for sure and like figure out what they're doing or not. It has like a really ugly looking chart. So from a technical perspective, it's not pretty. Like you'd have to like what the company's doing in the sector it's in. Tell us how you got SafeMoon wrong and it's not a rug pull and the devs have gone over and beyond to deliver a great project. How would I tell you that? I would say I've never called it a rug pull. And if you can find the sentence of me saying SafeMoon is a rug pull, I don't know, I'll send you whatever you want. I'll do anything because I know I didn't say that. Noah, keyboard warrior Noah. Matt, tell us how it's not a rug pull. I've never said it. Do I like SafeMoon? Not really. I'm not in it. If you're in it, I want you. I don't want anyone to ever lose money if you're in it. Just because something is not for me doesn't mean it's bad. It's just I might not just know about something. If you feel comfortable with your money in SafeMoon, have at it. I don't want you to lose money. I'm choosing to stick with like top 20 market cap cryptos. Cosmic Avocado. It's a pyramid scheme, not a rug pull. I mean, there have been people have brought up, at least from what I've read, concerning questions related to the devs. So when I hear that, okay, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, but like there's other interesting projects where people don't even bring up those potentially legitimate concerns. So when you have a finite amount of capital and time, why, like, just it hasn't come across my radar to like look into, because I think there's better projects out there that don't come with potential baggage. Noah, if that makes you better, I'll call it potential baggage. Just do your own DD. If you're in it, I hope you make a killing. I hope you become a multi-gazillionaire from a small investment. I hope you crush it. I'm not rooting for anyone's loss. It breaks my heart when I hear about things like the Squid Game coin and people lose all their money. That breaks my heart. Like, I don't want that to happen. Have you checked ENVX? Mark Otis talked about then he was on when he was on with me. Kevin seems like an amazing battery manufacturer. I have not checked that one out, Lance. I'll have to look into that, or I'll just ask Mark about it. Do you agree with how the extended BTC cycle? Are you slowly leaving crypto as we get closer to Feb or buy back in? As of now, and I'll let you know if this changes, I fully plan on just holding crypto. Holding. And when I get tired of that, I plan on holding some more. Maybe if I dive a little bit more into the hardcore cycles of it and be like, okay, I really do think it's going to dip. Maybe I'll sell out, wait for like a correction of some sort. But I don't see a world in which I would sell out of all, because I think sometimes timing the market like that, it does seem like sometimes it's just way easier to just hold and hold and hold, buy it on dips, then do some more holding, buy it on the dips, do some more holding. Timing the market, especially the crypto market, I feel could be extraordinarily difficult. The fact that most people did not read the white paper on Squid Game makes me feel absolutely no pity for them. Have the feds talked? Yes, they have. The white paper for Squid Game, someone actually just sent that to me and like pointed out all the insanity. And I see what you're saying, but a lot of people, we live in a day and age where people make investments, serious investments based on random things that they heard on Reddit. We have people making, casting their votes based on the title of an article that they just saw on Facebook. I see what you're saying, but this society right now with social media is very evidently stepping away from any form of critical thought on any manner. Even for me, for example, I was for months just saying, I don't think that's the dark pool percentage. I don't think that's the dark pool percentage. I don't think that's the dark pool percentage. Then I showed it and everyone, like at first they're like, no. I just saw this on Twitter, Matt. You're wrong. I saw this on Twitter. And then I showed the sources and tried to educate. And then like people lost their mind. They're like, that's just semantics. At first they didn't believe me. Then they knew I was right. And then they're like, that's semantics. And it's just people are making important decisions in all aspects of their life on very minimal research and DD. There's a clear lack of critical thought. And as soon as you present something that is opposed to whatever their original confirmation bias is, they have a freaking mental hernia over the whole thing. And that's not a good mindset to have, I would argue, in any aspect of your life. But if you have that type of methodology in the market, you're gonna lose money. The amount of people yesterday that were like yelling at me about DRS, folks, I've looked into it. I talked to the professionals. It's as simple as this. I even saw it on Reddit. If you go on Reddit right now and search Matt Kohrs, the first thing is it's just a complete lie. Someone's like, Matt Kohrs said you can't sell during the MOAS. No, I didn't. That's another thing. Find it. Find the clip. Find the clip, the tweet of me, Matt Kohrs, saying you can't sell during the MOAS. All I said is it makes it less timely. It makes you more immobile. If you want proof that a couple minutes matters, if you want proof right now that being able to control it to the tune of like a couple minutes matters, you know what a couple minutes difference was in CAR literally just a couple days ago? But Matt, you can execute a trade within a couple minutes. You know what the difference in CAR was? A couple minutes, 5 minutes was the difference between getting in at $540, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then getting out at $400. That is a 20% difference. So it's just a lack of critical thought. And whatever, I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad, I'm not your teacher, whatever. Live your life how you want to live your life. All the power to you. But when it comes to your money, it's going to be a net loss for you unless you do a little bit more DD. So coming back to the original comment about people getting scammed on Squid, it's sad. It's super, super sad. People are buying without reading the white papers. They are buying without researching the project team. And that's why we have these scams, because the scammers are banking on people not doing that type of research. So for me, when I see those types of things, I do my best to call it out, especially if I feel like I know a little bit and like have the resources to back up what I'm saying. But it gives the entire finance sector such a bad name when those types of things prevail. And then people got screwed over, and it's just really, really disheartening. Brian Baker becoming an astronaut. Or you have been an astronaut for 5 months. Shout out, Brian. People like to toss money at things out of blind optimism based off of one minor piece of input. They do. And I would, maybe that's just an aspect of being human, like part of the human condition. But the more you watch and hang out here particularly, I will do my best to get that out of everyone. Even with what I say, hey, Matt just said this about the Federal Reserve and showed us a weird website of a stick figure with like the pump thing and money came out. Okay, that's fine. That's a good starting point. But from there, do a little bit more research. Like, fact check me. Seriously. Be like, okay, he talked about this thing being hawkish and dovish. What does that mean? Do a quick Google search. You can find it for absolutely free. And also on things like that, I'm more than happy to clarify if I confuse anyone. But just in general, it's okay from anyone on social media, whether they're small or big. You can trust, but at least verify. Trust, but verify. That's always a good, be like, okay, I like this person. They've given good information in the past. If you want to inherently trust them, but it's not a personal affront to them for you just to go do a quick fact check. That's a very dangerous echo chamber setup. And like I say, I think we see it in all aspects of life right now, but this is more of in the finance world. So my goal is to at least get that part of finance more to the front of your brain and be like, okay, am I buying into confirmation bias right now? Or do I need to get a little bit more of my own DD done? Doug, I have not yet. The past couple days have been a bit crazy. Have you heard about Saitama? They have Saitama mask coming out soon, and I got a little bit ago, and it ran up $700. Ben, that's awesome. I hear a lot of people talking about it in here, but even there, like, I haven't read the white paper. I don't know much about the project, so I can't say good or bad. I can just say I'm more interested in learning in the top 20 market cap cryptos. I want people to lose money, Matt, cough, cough, hedge funds. Can you take a look at VLTA? Oh, man. VLTA, low volume, very low volume for a cheap stock. It trades less than 3 mil and it's $9. I'd probably avoid it just because of that. It doesn't seem like people are, it's not a liquid stock. How's your tongue, bro? That actually, the spiciness really dives off after about 20 minutes. For me, it was more of like the stomach pain. What else do we have? If you French fries when you pizza, you're going to have a bad time. The other Matt, no, my reasoning for that, it was just the fact that I was dying this morning. Thoughts on the Rivian IPO next week? A lot of the recent IPOs, especially some of the recent EV-based IPOs, lots of excitement. They run, but unfortunately, they don't seem to hold that initial run. So for me, it's a potential trade and or investment, but after the initial insanity wears off. What is this? Oil may be crashing because of the COP26 pledge to pull out of all carbon-based investments by next year. That makes a lot of sense. They're insensitive to market cap. In a certain way, fire diarrhea. Jim Cramer's comment about that, he's not wrong on that one. How many times do people, when you're looking at the stock, everyone talks about the stock price, but not the market cap? Like, how many people know that AMC is currently worth just under 21 billion and GME is worth just under 17 billion? People really don't care about that. They're like, whatever. Like, it's more of the price and the gains in the price. People really are not measuring out market cap of a company. Looks like the wishes chart is sympathetic to GME and AMC today, other than low average volume. Looks like wish. Wish, this one? Context. Did it have a nice wishes? I feel like, is this wishes? What's the ticker there, Justin, right? I want to bring up the proper one. All right, Solana looking good, Ethereum looking good. Bitcoin with a very rapid recovery. Look for Bitcoin to push above 64,000. If it pushes above it, similar to how it did yesterday, but actually holds, that's a different story. You want it to hold above 64K. If it does, I think we'll be testing for a new all-time high. I can feel another after hours run. Dan the man, I hope you are spot on with that. I hope you are definitely spot on with that. Matt, gastric distress is just a Wednesday course. Oh, man. Could you comment on AMC earnings? Like, it might be a big surprise based on revenue. So AMC earnings are Monday, November 8th. So the next Monday in our lives, 5 p.m. ET, 5 p.m. East Coast time. I will be streaming it. I'll chop it down for you in real time as they're talking. It usually lasts about an hour, but it's the next Monday in our lives. And yes, I will be here. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to stream it. My expectations is a beat. My reasoning for that is all the other companies within the theatrical experience sphere, such as Regal, IMAX, Cinemark, all those guys, they're all having very, very good numbers. And right now with AMC having the biggest market share, I don't see why it would be any different, especially with the abnormal amount of societal enthusiasm, particularly for AMC. I would be surprised if it's not a beat. And on top of that, they're talking about just some sort of like big announcement for all of us, which I think could be really cool. I have no idea what it is whatsoever, but it'll be fun to listen to. But anyway, that's Monday, November 8th. I'll be streaming it 5 p.m. East Coast time, ET. MSNBC's Nicole Wallace lost it and went on an unhinged tirade. Oh, I thought you said Citadel race theory. I was like, what is Citadel race theory? It's like, is Citadel racing us? Oh, man. All right, AMC making that pushback. I'm in the next, 90 seconds. I'm just kind of watching 41 key psychological level. But hey, we're up 5% on both, almost 6% on GME. This was a good day. Like, if people don't have their heads held high right now, both of the stocks the community cares about in the green. All the markets new all-time high. A lot of cryptos either at or close to a new all-time high. Money, money, money. I hope your accounts are absurdly green as we get to like closer and closer to the end of the year. All right. And I see TP here talking about AMC and post-market. It might be another day like yesterday where the post-market is absolutely fire. So I think that could be pretty cool. But we'll see how that one particularly goes. What do we have? We have about 20 seconds. I just want to get this out there quick in case you need to make a quick trade so you don't get impacted by pattern day trading tomorrow. You have a couple seconds before the market closes, just so everyone knows. Just so everyone knows. Let's get going. Let's get going.
Dingity ding ding ding. The casino is closed.
Folks, we just made it through another day. Wednesday, November 3rd, and I have to admit, the first 3 days of November have been on fire. In fuego, mi amigo. What a crazy, crazy time for the start of the week, the start of the month, particularly for the apes, but really the market's in the green, crypto's in the green, moon stocks are in the green. It is a fun, fun day to be an ape. And as always, it's a beautiful day to be an ape. Thanks for hanging out with me for today. A wild day, the Hot Chip Challenge. We're going to get that over on Kohrs Light. If you're not subscribed there, don't forget to. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like to talk about stocks, options, crypto, future, all that good stuff. If this is what you like, hit that subscribe button. It is completely free. On your way out, don't forget to hit that like button. It just helps me out with the algorithm. But I appreciate the support. I do appreciate the peer pressure into eating a hot chip that I should have never have eaten, but now I'm invincible because of it. And I appreciate you guys showing support for the best finance live stream on the interwebs, because you know what we all are. We are dumb money. As always, your support is the most invaluable thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, from me and Cher, best of luck in the markets. I will catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m., bright and early. We're going to be getting up with the farmers, and we're going to be seeing what's going on with the Mississippi. I'll catch you later. I hope you have a great evening, afternoon, night, whatever it is for you. I hope you have a great, fantastic one. Hang out with your friends, family. I'll catch you in the AM. Peace out.